Step into the swirling fog of 18th century London, where the air hangs heavy with the sharp tang of coal smoke from countless chimneys, mingling with the earthy scent of horse manure, churned into the muddy streets by clattering carriages and the distant cries of street vendors hawking hot pies and fresh oysters. This is a city on the cusp of empire, a booming metropolis swelling to over 750,000 souls by mid-century, the largest in Europe, pulsating with the raw energy of commerce, culture, and chaos that would forge the modern world. From the opulent squares of the West End rising in elegant Georgian symmetry to the teeming docks along the Thames where ships from every corner of the globe unload silks from China, spices from India, and sugar from the Caribbean, London in the 1700s is a tapestry of extremes, wealth and destitution, enlightenment and squalor, innovation and peril. Architects like Sir Christopher Wren have rebuilt the city from the ashes of the Great Fire of 1666, imposing grand domes and spires that pierce the skyline, while philosophers in coffeehouses debate liberty and reason, and pickpockets lurk in shadowed alleys ready to relieve the unwary of their purses. Thanks to the vivid engravings and paintings left by artists of the era, we can resurrect this vibrant, volatile world, immersing ourselves in its streets, squares, and secrets, feeling the pulse of a city transforming into the capital of a burgeoning superpower. Imagine soaring high above the Thames in a bird's-eye view from the mid-1700s, gazing upstream from what would one day become the site of Tower Bridge. Your eyes sweeping over the beating heart of Georgian London, the world's busiest port and epicenter of global trade. The river below teems like a living artery, crowded with tall masted sailing ships riding the tide, their decks alive with sailors shouting orders in a babel of accents, while smaller wherries and rowing boats dart between them like minnows, ferrying passengers and goods across the murky waters that carry the city's lifeblood. Dominating the horizon stands Sir Christopher Wren's masterpiece, St. Paul's Cathedral, its vast leaden dome gleaming under the fitful sun. Completed in 1710 as the crowning glory of the post-fire reconstruction that replaced medieval timber with enduring stone and brick, symbolizing London's resilience and ambition. To the right rises the monument to the Great Fire, a towering Doric column designed by Wren himself, etched with inscriptions recounting the 1,666 blaze that devoured 13,000 houses and left 70,000 homeless, now serving as a stark reminder amid the rebuilt city's prosperity. The famous Old London Bridge arches across the Thames, its ancient span still encrusted with haphazard houses, shops, and even a chapel, creating a floating village where merchants haggle over wares, and the water rushes through its narrow arches with a thunderous roar that echoes day and night. This bridge, a medieval survivor, funnels traffic into the city, where warehouses bulge with imperial spoils, tea chests stacked high, bolts of calico unfurled in vibrant patterns, and the air buzzes with the clink of coins changing hands in a commerce that fuels Britain's ascent. Yet beneath the bustle lurks danger. The river's currents are treacherous, polluted with sewage and industrial runoff, claiming lives in drownings and epidemics, while fog-shrouded nights see smugglers slipping contraband ashore under the noses of excisemen. This panorama captures London at its Georgian zenith, a city shedding its medieval skin for the mantle of empire, where fortunes are made in a single voyage and lost in a tavern brawl, drawing dreamers and desperados from across the realm and beyond. Now descend to the verdant slopes of One Tree Hill in Greenwich Park, that elevated vantage point offering a sweeping northwest vista toward the sprawling capital in the mid-1700s, where the fresh breeze carries the faint salty tang of the river, mingling with the sweet bloom of wildflowers underfoot. You're perched at what will become the cradle of global timekeeping, for in 1884 Greenwich would host the prime meridian, dividing the world into east and west, but in this era, it's a fashionable retreat for the gentry, dotted with elegantly attired figures in tricorn hats and flowing skirts, promenading with parasols and telescopes to admire the finest prospect in England. Below lies the Queen's House, a Palladian gem nestled like a jewel between the grand colonnades of Greenwich Hospital. Completed in 1751 as a majestic haven for retired seamen, Britain's answer to Paris's Les Invalides, its Baroque splendor by Wren and Nicholas Hawksmoor proclaiming naval supremacy with sweeping wings, domed chapels, and courtyards where old salts in tricorn hats swap tales of battles against the French and Spanish. The hospital's painted hall, adorned with triumphant murals of maritime victories, echoes with the shuffle of pensioners' feet and the distant boom of cannon salutes from the river. Greenwich serves as London's maritime gateway, where the Thames widens into an estuary alive with vessels East Indiamen laden with porcelain and pepper, whalers returning from Arctic hunts with blubber and bone, and royal yachts gliding past with fluttering pennants. From this hill, the city's spires and smokestacks unfold like a living map, the dome of St. Paul's anchoring the distant skyline, while closer at hand, orchards and meadows give way to encroaching suburbs, hinting at the relentless expansion that swallows farmland year by year. Society flocks here for picnics and prospects, artists like Canaletto sketching the scene in oils that capture the golden light filtering through haze, and astronomers at the nearby Royal Observatory peering through brass instruments to map the stars that guide Britain's fleets. This view, virtually unchanged over centuries, whispers of continuity amid change, a serene counterpoint to the city's frenzy, where one can pause and ponder the empire's horizons, stretching from the Americas to Asia. Venture now into the heart of fashionable London at Leicester Square in the mid-1700s, a verdant enclave transformed from open fields into one of the capital's most exclusive residential addresses, where the clip-clop of horses' hooves on cobblestones mingles with the refined chatter of aristocrats stepping from sedan chairs into grand townhouses adorned with pediments and pilasters. At the centre looms Leicester House, a stately pile erected in 1635 for the Earl of Leicester, its facade a symphony of classical symmetry that later sheltered royal personages like Frederick, Prince of Wales, whose court rivaled that of his father George II, hosting lavish balls where candlelight danced on silk gowns and the air shimmered with the scent of powdered wigs and French perfumes. The square draws artistic luminaries. On the right at number 31, William Hogarth resides, his studio buzzing with apprentices, etching satirical prints that skewer society's follies from the rake's progress through gin-soaked slums to the excesses of the elite, while a bust of Van Dyck above his door pays homage to the Flemish master. Opposite, at number 47, Sir Joshua Reynolds will soon establish his Portrait Academy in 1760, his brushes capturing the era's luminaries in oils that glow with lifelike vitality. From actors like David Garrick to philosophers like Samuel Johnson, their sessions filled with witty discourse over claret. At the square's heart stands the equestrian statue of King George I, erected in 1753, its bronze form astride a rearing horse, symbolizing Hanoverian stability amid political intrigue. Yet this idyll masks undercurrents. The square's gravel paths, lined with iron railings and shaded by young elms, witness discreet assignations and whispered scandals, while beyond its bounds, the West End's development accelerates, with speculators like the Adam brothers crafting neoclassical terraces that lure the nobility westward from the crowded city. Leicester Square embodies the Enlightenment spirit, rational, refined, yet bubbling with creativity, though its residential glory fades as theatres and pleasure gardens encroach, foreshadowing the entertainment hub it becomes, where by century's end, panoramas and exhibitions draw crowds eager for spectacle. Cross now to the Thames's south bank, gazing across the rippling waters toward the Tower of London, that ancient bastion of royal might rising like a stone sentinel from the mid-1700s, its battlements casting long shadows over the river that once served as both moat and thoroughfare, the splash of oars and creak of rigging filling the air as barges laden with coal and timber glide past. For over 7 centuries, the tower has guarded the city's eastern approaches. Its White Tower, a massive Norman keep, begun by William the Conqueror in 1078, with imported cornstone standing as the unyielding core, surrounded by concentric walls, drawbridges, and ravens whose cores echo legends of the kingdom's fate tied to their presence. By this era, it multitasks as palace, prison, armory, mint, and treasury, its vaults safeguarding the crown jewels amid gleaming piles of gold plate and gem-encrusted orbs, while the royal menagerie roars with exotic beasts, lions from Africa, elephants from India, gifts from foreign potentates that draw gaping crowds on public days. The waterfront bustles with arrivals at Traitor's Gate, that ominous archway where doomed souls like Anne Boleyn and Sir Thomas More once disembarked by barge, their fates sealed by Tudor whims. The water lapping coldly at the steps, as guards in scarlet uniforms usher them to cells haunted by echoes of torture and treason. Sailing vessels crowd the scene, merchantmen with billowing canvas, naval frigates bristling with cannon, and pleasure boats carrying sightseers who crane necks to glimpse the fortress's grim history. The tower embodies London's layered past, Norman conquest, medieval intrigue, and Georgian power, a place where executions on Tower Hill draw bloodthirsty mobs, yet also where yeoman warders in beefeater garb spin yarns of ghosts and glory. From the South Bank, with its breweries and theatres like the Globe's successor, the view captures the river's role as highway, where tides dictate the rhythm of trade, and fog-bound nights conceal smugglers evading the revenue cutters patrolling for untaxed brandy and tea. Plunge into the frenetic heart of commerce at the Royal Exchange's courtyard in the 1700s, where the clamour of deals being struck in a dozen tongues rises like a symphony of ambition, the bell in the tower above tolling to signal trading sessions that transform whispers into fortunes. Founded by Sir Thomas Gresham in 1565 on the Antwerp model, this arcaded marvel, rebuilt after the Great Fire, stands as England's pioneering bourse. Its open-air piazza ringed by galleries where merchants in periwigs and brocade coats cluster by nationality, Dutch factors haggling over tulip bulbs, Portuguese traders bartering diamonds from Brazil, and English wool merchants sealing exports to the continent. The air thrums with the rustle of bills of exchange, the scratch of quills on ledgers tallying cargoes of tobacco and slaves from the Americas, while upstairs in coffeehouses like Lloyd's, underwriters insure ventures against pirates and tempests, laying the foundations for modern finance that will spawn exchanges worldwide. Shops in the arcades tempt with luxuries, Venetian glassware sparkling in display cases, maps of newly charted oceans unrolled on counters, books from Grub Street, presses debating politics and science, and the scent of roasting coffee wafts from stalls where news sheets are pored over for stock tips and scandals. This single edifice catapults London to financial supremacy, a hive where the East India Company's directors plot monopolies and humble clerks dream of rising to nabob wealth, amid a backdrop of classical statues and frescoes celebrating trade's triumph. Yet peril lurks. Pickpockets weave through the throng, and bankruptcies echo like thunderclaps, reminding all that fortune's wheel spins swiftly in this crucible of capitalism. Stroll into the refined elegance of St. James's Square in the mid-1700s, the acme of aristocratic London, where the quiet clip of carriage wheels on gravel paths and the soft coo of doves in lime trees create an oasis of privilege amid the city's din. This exclusive enclave developed in the 1,660 seconds drawing dukes, earls and prime ministers to its palatial residences with facades of red brick and Portland stone, exuding understated grandeur. At its center gleams Charles Bridgeman's 1,720 seconds, redesign a vast circular basin 150 feet wide, ringed by 8 stone obelisks topped with lamps. Their ironwork enclosures reflecting the era's passion for formal gardens that tame nature into geometric perfection, transforming what residents once decried as a rude and disorderly mud pit into a symbol of civilized living. Towering townhouses host salons where Whig politicians like Robert Walpole scheme over port, and ladies in hooped skirts gossip about court intrigues, while servants in livery scurry with silver trays. The spire of St. James's Church punctuates the skyline, its Wren-designed interior resounding with sermons on virtue and empire, attended by the elite who fund missions to convert distant peoples. This square epitomizes the West End's westward march, where land speculators carve out new territories for the nobility fleeing the city's smoke. Yet it hints at future shifts as clubs like White's emerge in these mansions, birthing the gentleman's club culture of gaming and debate that endures. Amid the polish, class tensions simmer, footpads haunt nearby alleys, and the poor press at the gates, foreshadowing the social upheavals that will challenge this gilded world. Finally, Immerse yourself in the vibrant artery of Cheapside, Georgian London's commercial backbone, where the name derived from Old English cheap for market evokes centuries of haggling. The wide avenue thronged with shoppers in mob caps and apprentices in leather aprons, their voices rising in a chorus of cries, "What d'ye lack? Fine silks from Spitalfields, spices from the Indies." The elegant steeple of Street Mary Le Beau soars above, another Wren gem rebuilt post-fire, its famous bow bells pealing the hours and defining true cockneys as those born within their sound, their chimes mingling with the rumble of carts laden with wares from global ports. Rows of shops line the street, their bow windows displaying jewels that sparkle like stars, booksellers' stalls overflowing with pamphlets on everything from Newton's laws to Swift's satires, and goldsmiths hammering intricate designs under the gaze of wealthy patrons. This isn't mere retail, it's the fusion of Oxford Street's fashion and Wall Street's finance, where guilds enforce standards, merchants amass fortunes in colonial trade, and coffee houses like the Rainbow buzz, with stock jobbers speculating on South Sea bubbles that burst in ruinous crashes. The air carries the savoury aroma of pie shops and the sharp bite of gin distilleries, fueling the era's notorious gin craze that Hogarth immortalizes in Prince of Debauched Despair. Cheapside pulses with daily life's rhythm processions of Lord Mayors in gilded coaches, apprentices dodging slops emptied from upper windows, and the ever-present threat of fire in timber-framed holdouts embodying London's mercantile soul, where opportunity knocks for the bold amid the grit and grind. These engravings and paintings, preserved through time, offer portals to countless cities waiting to be revived, from ancient Rome to Victorian New York. So, share in the comments, which metropolis and era calls to you next? Your suggestion might light the way for our future explorations. Thank you for journeying through the labyrinth of 18th century London. May its echoes linger in your imagination.